On April the 8th this year, I came here to the Senate to speak about the end of the special counsel's investigation. Now that Special Counsel Mueller is set to testify tomorrow in the House of Representatives, I'd like to reiterate several points I made in that speech that I believe are still very relevant today. I noted that the facts show that the real collusion was actually brought about by the Democrats. It's pretty well documented that the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee hired Fusion GPS to do opposition research against candidate Trump. Fusion GPS then hired Christopher Steele, a former British intelligence officer, to compile the famous Steele dossier. That document was central to the fake collusion narrative, and it reportedly used Russian government sources for information. So the Democrats paid for a document created by a foreign national that relied on Russian government sources. Let's also not forget about news reports that the Democratic National Committee interfaced with the government of Ukraine to try and get dirt on candidate Trump. Not Trump, but the Democrats. Now that's the definition of collusion. Maybe that's why the Democrats seem totally uninterested in figuring out the origins of the Russian investigation, because they were a prime mover in making it all happen. Now they've asked the Justice Department to produce the Mueller report's underlying evidence, including all intelligence-related information. I agree with the need to see as much information as possible. In fact, I've co-sponsored a bill that would do just that. But the Democrats' fury over Mueller's findings and their inconsistent positions makes me think all of this is more about politics than principle. As I've said repeatedly, to guard against political gamesmanship, there's only one legitimate way to do this. Let's see all the documents, every one of the documents, meaning that if Congress is going to review the Mueller report's underlying information, it should be able to review information relating to how, absolutely how, the Russian investigation started. Anything less will fail to provide the full picture. Furthermore, to be very consistent, we shouldn't stop at the Russian investigation. The Democrats want all the Mueller information, but seem to be turning a very blind eye to other investigations where Congress, as well as the public, have yet to see it all. Again, that leads me to believe that their request for Mueller-related documents is a political ploy. Take, for example, the Clinton investigation. As I've written about publicly before, the Justice Department Inspector General produced to Congress a highly classified document relating to this Clinton investigation. That document raises additional questions for the FBI and the Justice Department. These agencies ought to produce additional information to Congress and answer these questions to provide full accounting of what transpired. Here's an excerpt then from the Inspector General's unclassified report on the Clinton investigation. Quote, although the mid-year team, and that happens to be the code word for the Clinton investigation, drafted a memorandum to the Deputy Attorney General late May 2016, stating that review of a highly classified material was necessary to complete the investigation and requesting permission to access them. The FBI never sent this request to the department, end of quote. So this tells us four things. One, the FBI apparently was aware of highly classified information potentially relevant to the Clinton investigation in its possession. Secondly, that the FBI drafted a memo in May of 2016 to get access to the information. Three, that memo said review of that information was necessary to complete the investigation. And fourth, the fact that the memo was never sent. So, with great emphasis, how could the Obama administration's FBI finish the investigation if they never got access to all potentially relative information? Now, there ought to be great Democratic outrage at that apparent failure, and there doesn't seem to be. Will Democrats ask the Justice Department for all underlying information relating to Hillary Clinton's investigation? And then there's another example. What about the case called Uranium One? I've been pushing for years for more answers about this transaction that allowed the Russian government to acquire U.S. uranium assets. I've received classified as well as unclassified briefings about this matter. My staff recently went to FBI headquarters to review additional classified material, and I've identified some FBI intelligence reports that may shed more light on the Uranium One transaction. However, the Attorney General has refused to provide access to those other documents. Well, if the Democrats demand intelligence-related information from the Justice Department regarding the Mueller report, there should be no reason whatsoever why they shouldn't do the same for Uranium One. The American people rightly ought to expect something as simple as consistency. If you aren't consistent with what you asked for, then you won't have any credibility. My attitude and approach is straightforward and nonpartisan. Let's see it all. Russia, Clinton, Uranium One, all of it. As I said on April the 8th, sunlight is the best disinfectant. As we listen to and watch tomorrow's testimony going on in the House of Representatives, with Mueller coming back to tell us probably nothing new because he said he isn't going to say anything that isn't already in the 448-page report. Let's keep that in mind. Let's see all of it. Russia, Clinton, Uranium One, as well as anything the Democrats are asking for in regard to the Mueller report.